Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Our guest today is my friend Carrie Stevenson. Carrie is the host of Making Money Matter and the founder of the Australian Gold Conference. Carrie, welcome back to Wall Street Silver.
Hey, I got some news for you, Ivan. I run the Australian Gold Conference, but I'm also now running the Gold Coast Gold Conference.
Oh, no way.
Yay, we're doing
Tell
Gold Coast Gold on the Gold Coast.
tell us
Had to
about
happen.
that. Tell us about that.
Um, Look, I moved to the Gold Coast a few years ago. A lot of people up here saying to me they're very interested in precious metals, what's going on. Uh, didn't necessarily want to come down to Sydney. Some of them did, but some of them said, could you do one on the Gold Coast? I thought, Gold Coast Gold, that sounds pretty cool.
Right.
So, March 13th and 14th next year, we're going to teach people up here why gold is something that they should look at. And again, not financial advice, Ivan,
Right.
as you know, but for me, people need to understand what's happening in this world where literally, I said to someone just yesterday, I said, the paper currency now, it's like monopoly money because the governments have to keep printing to get themselves out of trouble.
Yeah, you see all around the world, not just like I'm here in Canada, the Canadian dollar is going like, people are losing their purchasing power at record levels, and they don't even notice it. They don't understand what's happening. Where do you see the world going? Like from now for the next, I guess, year or two for just people dealing with inflation around the world? How do you see it breaking down? How can people protect themselves?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is start watching Wall Street Silver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I say this quite often: stop watching Netflix, start watching um, YouTube channels like yourselves and others, because you need to get educated about what's happening in the world. Because the governments don't have your back. If you think they do, you're wrong.
Right.
And in my opinion, governments we're overgoverned. There's too many people around the world that are um, being paid for by the taxpayer. So
Right.
I'm seeing that taxes will go up. The middle class are going to be really the ones that suffer the most because, and I'm just saying this because I think I really want people to wake up
Yeah.
and understand that, as you said just a moment ago, the purchasing power of your paper is going down. That's why you need to be diversified and have what I call real assets: gold, silver, property. I like property. Things that you can't print, I guess. The paper you can continue to print, and the more they print, the less value it has.
Yeah.
So here in Australia, our property market is still going up. It's softened a little bit, but over time, your hard assets will help protect your wealth. And that's what we need to look at. And the other thing I've been seeing recently, I've been watching comments like gold is crashing,
Yeah, it's
silver is
crazy.
crashing. And let me just bring it up right now because I was looking at it this morning. You know,
Hmm.
if you think the gold price is crashing from its highs, well, it's still almost 30% more in Australian dollars. And I think it's about the same in the USD as well.
Are you seeking a secure, truly offshore solution to protect your wealth? Whether you're invested in gold, silver, or other precious metals, strategic wealth preservation is the strategic storage choice. Located in the Cayman Islands, SWP offers a state-of-the-art 6,000 square foot facility, purpose-built to safeguard your assets with unparalleled security and privacy. Why choose the Cayman Islands? This premier jurisdiction has zero taxes on stored precious metals, no reporting requirements, and complete peace of mind, making it the ideal solution for investors looking to diversify internationally. At SWP, your metals are fully segregated, allocated, and insured. You can buy online or in person. Plus, SWP has a dedicated logistics team that facilitates the global transportation of your precious metals from almost anywhere in the world. Learn more about SWP and how they can help secure your precious metals offshore. Visit swpcayman.com or call them today, and the link will be in the description below. Thanks.
It's still 30, you're still getting 30% more purchasing power if you put some into gold or silver. Silver, maybe not so much. Let's
Right.
just quickly have a look at the silver chart. Sorry, one
No,
second.
it's okay. But you're absolutely right. People saying gold, silver crashing when realistically, if you look back a year ago or 2 years ago for silver and gold prices, it's done tremendously.
Yeah, and if you're a trader, that's a whole different thing. But I'm not a trader.
Right.
I'm a hodler, as they would say in Bitcoin market, which everyone's. It's interesting, isn't it, Ivan? Because suddenly Bitcoin's almost on the mainstream news because it's had a parabolic rise,
Right.
pulled back a little bit today. There are those out there that say, "I hate Bitcoin. It's going to go to zero." Like Peter Schiff is always constantly saying, "Bitcoin sucks," but then the other day he was like, "Well, Bitcoin's interesting." People are
Right.
starting to, but you and I are speaking just after the US election. Wow. What
Yeah.
a what a what a result that was. Pretty
Right.
interesting. I think it's going to be very interesting come January
Why?
because, well, President-elect Trump is very keen on Bitcoin. He's very keen on protecting US manufacturing. He'll
Mhm.
put the tariffs up. What's that going to do to A markets and B real assets? I'm not quite sure. What do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot of people I've been interviewing the past week or two are saying you could put as many tariffs as you want, but if they stop sending those goods, it's you're going to get overall less activity and less revenue. So that in turn is not going to help inflation. Then you get people who are saying, of course, if Trump cuts out all the regulation and cuts out a lot of the government spending. He can't cure inflation, but he can for sure help slow it down because at the end of the day, a lot of people are saying Trump doesn't own the central banks in the United States.
No.
So the main core issue is still there. You still got to get silver and gold to protect your purchasing power. So
Yeah.
yeah, what do you think, Carrie, is the outcome of all of this? Do you think Trump can fix inflation or no?
No, I don't think any one individual can fix inflation. But one of the things that I do like that he's doing is Robert Kennedy Jr.,
Yeah.
a really interesting appointment. Because I've said for ages, the world is getting sicker.
Yeah.
And stuff that we put, I mean, I've been on a bit of a health kick, and pleased to say I'm 20 kilos down now. So
Nice.
yeah, because I'm eating clean.
Right.
And 50% of America is overweight. So to see Trump turn around and say, you know what, I'm going to put someone who understands this
Right.
in charge of making people aware of what they're putting in their body is crap, and
Right.
that's why you're getting sicker. If you don't have your health, Ivan, all the gold in the world isn't going to help you. All the
Right.
silver in the world is not going to help you. And the other thing that I love is that he's aware that there is too much government spending.
Yeah.
And it's not just in the US, Canada, Australia, the US, everywhere around the world is trying to fix a problem by continuing to print their way out of trouble.
Yeah,
And the only
it's
thing
horrible.
that hurts is especially, as I said before, the middle class, because the wealthy will continue to buy up real assets. They'll continue to buy gold. They're not going to let you know what they're doing, but
Right.
that's what they're doing.
And the wealthy are not going to see the day-to-day grocery prices like the middle
No,
class or the lower class. So the be real people are affected, of course, is the lower classes, not the wealthy class because they don't see the inflation. Or
no.
maybe they do, but they are not going to pay. It's not going to affect them, I guess, as much.
Well, they're protected because if they've got hard assets, let's just take property as an example. If they've got hard assets, then they've got income coming in, and that income will rise along with inflation. If you are just surviving paycheck to paycheck, your paycheck is not going up in line with inflation. It's
Right.
just not happening.
Right.
So I think that what people need, one of the things I say to people, budget's a really ugly word. Nobody ever likes that word that begins with B, budget, but a lot of people actually need to be a little smart and go, you know what, I'm going to watch where my dollars go. For example,
Yeah.
take out physical cash, have a budget. If you run out by Wednesday, you're going to have a very quiet weekend.
No going out that weekend.
No, but Ivan, going back to what I think is going to happen in 2025, I don't think once the inflation genie's out of the bottle, it's very hard to put it back. That's number one.
Yeah. And you
Number
also
two, I think that this talk of gold is crashing. Gold had a parabolic rise. Silver was starting to tear away. Bitcoin's gone insane. I think they're all going to have a little bit of a pullback as we come into the end of 24.
Mhm.
But I suspect that coming into 25, we're going to see a $3,000 gold price, if not a little bit more. I mean, Jim Rickards was saying $27,000 gold, but he had some numbers around that. Don't think that's going to happen. But I do think it will continue to protect your purchasing power. That is the most important thing to say. But again, Ivan, so many people think that it's really difficult. How do I even buy it? It's
Right.
not
How,
that.
how how would you advise someone right now watching us right here, new
Yep.
investor into silver and gold, wants to protect their wealth? How would you advise them for silver and gold? What would you tell them to do?
Well, it depends on their financial circumstances. If they've
Absolutely.
only got, say, $10 spare a week or a month, only a tiny bit, then there's a company called Rush Gold here in Australia. Now, I don't know whether you can do it in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
but it's called Rush Gold. You can sweep your paper over into Rush Gold and buy a teeny tiny bit of gold or silver on that
On a
platform
fractional level.
on a fractional level.
Right.
So it's held in bank vaults here in Australia, the silver and the gold. It's it's uh, it's insured by Lloyd's of London. It's audited by Bureau Veritas. It's held in Brinks vaults. So it's, in my opinion, it's a very safe, easy way. So that's a a technical way, if you like, of buying gold if you don't have very much. Now, the other way is go to a reputable bullion dealer. Don't go to Facebook or Instagram or those places and say, I'm going to buy a kilo of gold off John Smith. No, don't do that. You don't know whether it's even real. I mean,
Right.
let me show you something very quickly.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Oh, is that real?
What do you reckon?
It looks real.
Looks real, doesn't it?
It's not real?
No.
No, it looks
It
real though.
weighs the same. This is a 400-ounce bar from
Yeah.
ABC Bullion. I've got it upside down, so let's put it this
Oh
way.
my goodness, that looks real.
It's good, isn't it?
Wow, that looks
400
incredible.
ounce, 999 gold. You'd think that it was real, but you know what? Guys, that's why you got to be careful where you buy your precious metals from.
Did you spend a
And
nice pretty penny on that or no?
well, if this was real, I did spend a little bit of money on it because it is gold
Yeah,
plated.
right, right.
But if you were to buy a 400-ounce gold now, it's worth pretty much a house here in Australia.
Yeah.
Probably about 1.6 mil in Aussie
Wow.
dollars.
Wow. So
And
yeah.
it's heavy. It's about 12 kilos.
So yeah, you got to be careful where you're buying from.
That's the single most important thing. Go to a reputable dealer. Here in Australia, you can purchase in cash anything less than 5,000. I think they're going to change that to 2.5 next year, but at the moment it's 5,000. It's not that hard. Now, if you're going to buy an extra, because again, people think that $5,000 worth of gold, oh, that must be big. No, it's about that big. It's about that big.
Right.
So, be careful, take care of it. But there's plenty of bullion dealers around where you can just walk in and say, I would like to buy. And they will tell you. Now, different ways. There's bars, there's coins. The more work that goes into, say, a silver coin, the higher the premium.
Right, right.
So a very simple, like this one,
That one's
a
gonna have a lower
very
premium.
that'll have a lower premium because there's not a lot of work. There's not stuff put on there. I've got next time we chat, I'll bring some really interesting silver and gold that I've got. I'll get them out of the vault, and next
Nice.
time we have a chat, I'll show you some really cool stuff that I've got.
Okay, that's awesome because absolutely it's such a crazy time that we're living in, and not only is it a crazy time we're living in, but I think it's so important for people out there just to protect themselves, whether it's silver, gold, real estate, whatever it is, because yeah, there's so much uncertainty out there. Even with Trump being president, at the end of the day, he doesn't own the central bank, so you can't really
No.
con they're still going to be printing US dollars. You can reduce deficits and spendings, but you still have to yeah, you still got to protect yourself. Carrie, where can people connect with you? I'd love for them to connect with you. I'll put the links in the description below, but where can they connect with you?
They can connect with me. They can either subscribe to on the goldevents.com.au. That's our website. Or please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Making Money Matter. No S, Making Money Matter.
Uh-huh.
And I'd love them to subscribe to that. Look, we do a lot of interviews with ASX listed companies. I want to get some more Canadian companies on there as well. And I always say this to people: do your own research.
Right.
You can listen to Ivan and myself and what our views are, but make sure you get educated, because right now the government's not got your back. They're going to keep printing paper because that's the only way they're going to get themselves out of trouble. So inflation, the genie is out of the bottle. They're not going to be able to tame it, in my opinion. I think interest rates next year could go back up again.
Oh yeah, if they can't fight inflation down and inflation keeps going up, they're gonna have to raise rates again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be the craziness all over again. And there's yeah, who knows what can happen next? Bank runs or anything like that.
Well, go back to Cyprus, Greece, when they had a bank run, and then they just took 10% of people. If you had over 100, I think it was 100,000 euros, they went, we're going to take 10% of that, just like that. And
They
by the
did
way,
that?
Ivan, yeah,
The
yeah,
heck? I did not
just
know that.
today, just today, my bank sent me a text message saying, "Oh, you haven't verified yourself in time. We've suspended all of your bank accounts." Yep, got that. Just got that message on my phone.
Jeez,
So
that's very
that see what
strange.
so again, if you've got assets outside the banking system, you're much better off. I don't trust the banks, and that
Yeah,
sounds a
me
bit
too.
weird, a bit conspiracy theorist, but hey, just this morning, your bank accounts have been suspended.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. Carrie, it's such a huge pleasure having you come down to Wall Street Silver. Everyone watching, I highly recommend, please go follow Carrie on her YouTube channel. Please go check out the website. The link's in the description below. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. And Carrie, I'd love to have you back on in the future.
Thanks so much for having me. And ladies and gentlemen, Gold Coast Gold, go the gold.
Awesome. Talk to you guys soon.
See ya.